Hello everyone and welcome back. How are you today? Are you doing okay? Okay. I want to make another video today and we want to look at the 12 verb tenses because there is a lot of misunderstanding about these tenses, and I find that a lot of students, they know the tenses but they cannot explain why we use this tense or the how and the what. Okay, it's not really enough to remember the form of this tense, or maybe the words that we use with this tense. I think it's important that a student understands exactly what it's for, because that is a complete understanding, and to be able to understand it fully. And that's what we want to do today. So it's the what, the why, and the how. So what is the tense, why do we use it, how, and give examples. So quickly we will review the 12 tenses. And we always start with the simple tenses: present simple, past simple, and future simple. These tenses are very easy, students know them very well, and the form is very simple too. And then we have the continuous tenses: present continuous, past continuous, future continuous. Sometimes they are called progressive. Present progressive, past progressive, and future progressive, depending on how you were taught. But they are the same. The perfect tenses: present perfect, past perfect, and future perfect. And last one, the present perfect continuous. So perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, and future perfect continuous. But a lot of students know what they are, and they can tell you the form, subject plus verb plus object, and all of this, but why do we have 12 tenses? I mean, what do they do, and how are they different? And why do we use one tense in one situation and another tense in another situation? And for a native speaker, what tenses do we normally speaking? Do we need 12 tenses? Do we need to know them all? Not so much. So I would say it's not enough just to remember the tense. You should know why we have them and how and when we use them. But you should also know is which ones are important, which ones you really need. And I don't think it's fair that you are expected to know all 12 tenses. Because a native speaker doesn't speak all 12 tenses. They only speak maybe 5 or 6, and you can say everything you want to say with 5 or 6 tenses. So some things to note. Don't worry too much. Don't overthink or don't get too stressed. I don't understand tense, this. Don't worry, it's okay. We understand that you are a student, you are learning English, and it's difficult for you. And like we said, a native speaker will mostly speak in the simple and continuous tenses. We use a little bit of the perfect tense sometimes, but mostly when I speak, I will speak in simple and continuous. A little bit of perfect, but not too much. So anyway, let's start with the simple tenses. Nice and easy. Simple tense has a timeline like this. And present simple. So basically, subject, verb 1, object. He goes to the shop. Something like that. And when we use it. So we use it for everyday actions and habits. Things you do every day. I go to school, I brush my teeth, this. I do my homework, she watches TV. Just nice and simple. I do it every day. Is that my habit? The second one is for a permanent or long-term situation and a truth. An example would be, again, I do my homework every day. That is a permanent thing. Or I have a family, or I live in Thailand, or something like this. It's a permanent or long-term situation, or it's a truth. I like spaghetti, anything like that. But just remember, everyday actions and habits, things we do every day, we would use the present simple. Next one, past simple. This one, we're using past tense now. We're using the verb to. Subject with verb to and an object. So this is an event that is not happening now, not at the moment. It happened in the past, okay? Maybe yesterday, last year, okay? And when we would use it. Okay, so it is for a completed action in the past. Something you did but is now finished, okay? And it happened, it's done, it's over, okay? I did my homework. Yesterday, I did my homework, okay? But I'm not doing it anymore, it's finished. She watched TV. Yesterday, she watched TV. Last week, she watched TV. Okay. The second, we can use it for actions in the story. Okay, you read a good book and you describe that book. What happened? Okay. Well, in the story, Cinderella lost her shoe. Okay. Or in the movie that I watched, Iron Man saved the world. Okay. It's actions in the story or a movie that we watched or something we read, a comic. Okay, we can use simple past or past simple. The third one, future simple. Now, the form is subject, will, verb 1, object. However, there is another one. Sometimes we will use subject, am, is, are, and going to with verb 1 and the object. This is still the future simple, okay? It looks a lot like present continuous, but it's not. It's still future simple because it's a plan, an event that's going to happen in the future, okay? A future event, something in the future. So again, we have past, present, future. The X is our thing, is our event. So when we would use it? For an action happening in the future, okay? Nice and easy. I will do my homework. Or she will watch TV, okay? Something that's going to happen in the future. We can also use it for a future prediction and a plan, okay? I think it is going to rain. I predict. I'm not sure, but I think it is. I think it's going to rain. Or later, I am going to buy milk, okay? And we're using the going to, but because it's an event that's going to happen in the future, okay? But it's not continuous because it's just one thing, okay? So we will do that. Okay, moving on to continuous tense. Okay, the continuous tense then. This is continuous. It means the event is going over a period of time, okay? Or the event progresses, okay? And there is a period of time involved, it goes over. It's just not one thing and stop. It continues for some time. Continuous, okay? Or progressive. And again, we use subject, am, is, are, verb, ing for present continuous, okay? With an object, okay? And it is similar to I am going to, but we are in the present continuous now. So we're talking about what we are doing right now, okay? So when you would use it for unfinished actions happening right now. What are you doing? I am watching TV right now. I am doing my homework. I haven't finished yet. I am still doing it, okay? Or she is watching TV, okay? It's not finished. It's happening right now and it will go on until the future, okay? We can also use it for a temporary, short time situation or a habit that we do, okay? It's not for a long time, a short time situation. Example, I am studying at home, or I am studying online, okay? I'm not going to school, I'm studying online for the next 2 months or something like this, a temporary situation. Or another example, you are always doing bad things, okay? Someone's habits, and they could be temporary. You are always doing bad things. Past continuous. This is past progressive, okay? And we change the form again. Subject was or were, verb ing, and an object, okay? And this is our timeline, okay? So you can see it is something that happens in the past, okay? A past event. A past action. And when we would use it, it is an action happening in the past or two actions were happening at the same time in the past, okay? So two things could be happening, all right? So you could say something like, I was doing my homework at 9 p.m, okay? So we could use the time. She was watching TV and they were singing songs. Okay, two actions were happening at the same time, or maybe they interrupt each other, something like this, but they were continuous. They were going over a period of time, okay? You could also use for an interrupted action, okay? And it can be used with past simple. So you can mix past simple and past continuous to make a sentence. Example, you could say, Cinderella was running away when she lost her shoe, okay? Her action was interrupted. She was running and then she lost her shoe, okay? So an interrupted action, something that had something else happen and stopped it. Okay, and the last one of the continuous is future continuous or progressive future. Subject will be verb ing and an object. And in our timeline, it's just a continuous action that happens in the future, okay? So yeah, for ongoing continuous actions in the future, I will be doing my homework. He will be watching TV, okay? It's something that's going to go on for maybe 1 hour or however long in the future. Now, it can be used for many actions happening at the same time or overlapping in the future. So it doesn't just have to be one thing, okay? He will be watching TV and they will be something, okay? Example, I will be studying at home when you call me, okay? I'm studying, the phone rings, you've called me, okay? Something like that. We can mix them, okay? Alright, so we're getting a little bit more difficult now, the perfect tenses. Now, the perfect tenses are not necessary to be a great speaker, but they do show a more advanced level of study. And if you want to do your IELTS exam and you can show that you understand the perfect tenses and you can use them effectively, it will be much better for your score. But in everyday speech, the perfect tenses aren't used a lot, okay? But they're still good to know them, all right? And you need them in your exams, especially in Thailand. You are expected to know the perfect tenses, all right? So, start with present perfect. Subject, have, has. This time it's verb 3 and an object, okay? But present perfect actually starts in the past in our timeline, an action that started in the past. So it's a past recent event or an action or an experience, okay? It doesn't start in the present. It starts in the near present, just in the past, maybe yesterday or something like that. And you know, you could say something like, I have done my homework, okay? I have been to a place. I have seen something. She has watched TV, okay? It was an action that happened in the past, but recent, not too long ago, okay? You can also use it for unfinished situations that started in the past and continue until now, okay? It's still ongoing. So you could say something like, I have always lived in Thailand, okay? All my life, I have always lived in England. I have always followed BTS, okay? An action that started in the past, it kind of continues now, but it's not continuous, okay? We're not using continuous tense, we're using present perfect to describe it too. So you can see some tenses are very similar, okay? So don't worry too much about, am I using the right tense? As long as you're getting the message across and using the correct form, it's okay. Don't overthink it, because some tenses are very similar and you can say what you want to say in many different tenses and the meaning is still the same. Don't worry too much about the grammar or the tense. Just get your message out, show that you can speak English. Okay, past perfect. Subject had verb 3, object. Our timeline looks like this. And there are two X's, okay? So we're talking about two events, two actions or experiences, and they both happen in the past. So what it is a completed action before a specified time in the past, okay? So you did something and then something else happened, okay? Or you did something and then there was a time or something else changed. Example, I had done my homework before 10 p.m. Okay, before it was 10 p.m. I had finished my homework, I had done it. Or they had sung all the songs before then, okay, before a specified time, before he came, before the music stopped, before the power went out. It can also be a completed action before another action in the past, okay? Example, you had graduated before you got a job. You had finished school before you went to university. We would use the past perfect to show a completed action before another action. You had finished grade 5 before you started grade 6. Something like that. And the last three, the future perfect, last of the three. Subject, we'll have verb 3 and an object. And again, we're just changing to the future, okay? An action that happens in the future. When we would use it is a completed action before a specified time in the future, okay? It is the opposite of the past, okay? So, to change the sentence, you could say, I will have done my homework before 10 p.m. Okay? Or, they will have sung all the songs before then. And again, a completed action before another action in the future. So two things happen in the future. One is finished, the other one starts. Okay? You will have graduated before you get a job. Okay? You will have finished grade 5 before you go to grade 6. You will have finished school before you can go to university. Okay, and the last of the three, the perfect continuous tenses, okay? I have to be honest, I didn't really study this when I was at school. They weren't that important and we don't use them that often at all, okay? But it's good to know them. Perfect, present perfect continuous. Subject, have, has, been, verb ing, and an object. Okay, and as you can see, we have a timeline that starts in the past, continues until the present or the very near future. Okay, so maybe a little bit into the future. When we would use that, we would say an action that started in the past and continues for some time until now or just a little bit into the future. So I have been watching TV. I have been doing my homework for 3 hours. Okay, I have been visiting my sister for 6 months. Okay, we can also use it to show a temporary short-term situation or a present result. So, you know, this is a longer sentence. You could say I've been feeling tired because I have been going to the gym a lot recently. Okay, I have been feeling unhappy because I have a lot of homework. Okay, something like this, a temporary short-term situation and a present or a present result. Okay, let's move on. Past perfect continuous. Subject, had, been, verb ing, and an object. Okay, and we have our events are taking place only in the past. Okay, for a period of time, continuous. When to use it? An action which was progressing in the past before another action happens. Okay, so something was happening and then something else happened. Okay, something interrupted it. So something like, I had been doing my homework for 3 hours when you called me. Okay, now we could use this using the past perfect continuous, but if we wanted to say this, we could also use simple a little bit. I was doing my homework, or the continuous. I was doing my homework when you called me. It's very similar. Okay, so don't worry too much which one you choose to use. Speak to be comfortable. We can also use it to describe the reason or cause of something in the past. Now you can mix it with past simple or past continuous, okay? So again, these we can change them, okay? And as we practice our speaking, we develop, okay, knowledge, okay, I can use this tense, and we would do it naturally. Okay, you could say something like, she was feeling tired because she had been doing homework for 3 hours, okay? So we've got the past con and we've got past perfect continuous. We just put them together. And the last one, future perfect continuous. The form for it, subject, we'll have been, verb, ing, and an object, okay? And when we would use this, okay, so it's the opposite of the past perfect continuous. An action which progresses in the future before another action happens. So two things again, okay, they are happening in the future. One thing is continuous, ongoing, and something else happens to interrupt it, or maybe at the end of it. I will have been doing my homework for 3 hours when you call. Okay, this is a good example. Okay, the homework goes on for 3 hours and then someone calls you. Or an action in progress until a specific moment, okay? Example would be, we will have been flying to Tokyo for 4 hours by this time tomorrow. Okay, it's more complicated. We will have been flying to Tokyo for 4 hours by this time tomorrow, until a specific moment, this time tomorrow. Action in progress is, we will have been flying to Tokyo. Okay, so that is the end. Like I said, I think that the tenses, we need to know why and how we use them with good examples, and it takes a lot of practice, and also you need to relax. I think in where I teach in Thailand, you taught a lot to remember the form, remember the words like verb form or the subject, verb 1, object. But the what and the how is the important part, because we need to think. You go to school, you have education, it's to think, and it's to think creatively and critically. And if you are only taught to remember, then how can you fix the problems? Because in the future there are problems, like even right now you have COVID or you have something else. And if you're only taught like in a remember style, you will not develop the thinking skills to be able to think about how to solve the problems of the future, which is kind of the important part of going to school and education. How to think, how to fix the problems that we don't know are going to happen in the future, how to think creatively, okay, and how to see things before they happen and try and understand and think fast, okay? So we really need to practice the why and the how as much as remembering things. It's so important to be able to think too. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I hope it was useful. If you have any comment, like always, you can send a message. I will always help you, or get back to me, or get back to you even. And you can like, or you can subscribe if you want. Thank you so much.